Alrighty, so welcome to day 7 of the leagues drops. It is as I predicted with what we would be expecting for today, but I'm going to preface this with that this video will contain spoilers, of course, for the league's reveals. Today we have day 7. Let's get into it. So we have Total Recall versus Banker's Note. So before in the last raid, Last Recall was a staple that everyone got. You didn't have to choose it over anything else. And Banker's Note was also the preferred choice for later on in the league for general PvM purposes. Let's see if the video has anything interesting of note. For rune crafting, Banker's Note went hard. Alright, so it is as it is. Total Recall lets you recall from wherever you teleported last, but it looks like in this case you can save it. Let's actually read what it does. This item can be used to store any single coordinate alongside your hit points, prayer, and special attack energy, and teleport back to it at a later date, restoring your stats. This is such a nice quality of life for me, because I was dreading having to get 91 thieving and 95 fletching for the desert region to get the desert amulet to teleport me back to the statue and replenish all my stats, or to get like an ornate pool with high construction and having that to replenish all your stats. Now this upgraded version of Last Recall just replenishes everything, so that's a huge quality of life. It means I don't have to fletch at all, thank God. So the crystals of echoes cannot store coordinates, while in an instance that makes sense, and it won't be inside quest areas, mini games, and stuff. Total Recall is also a huge time save just with anything you do, but in particular with quests, it speeds up quests dramatically. For Banker's Note, this item will allow you to note and unnote items anywhere in Gielinor. You can manually use items on the note to unnote them or note them just like a bank, and the activate option allows you to note and unnote items in one action with the specified quantity, so just like a bank. Okay. You can customize how many items the Banker's Note will note and unnote using the quantity option. So this is really good for Herblord then, because you could split up the amount that you note. This honestly is a very difficult choice. Banker's Note has a lot of utility. It's very noob friendly. If you're trying to do things like the Coliseum, you will basically have an infinite amount of food to pull from every single wave with Banker's Note. This could be great if you want to knock that out earlier, especially if you're an experienced PvMer, being able to do things like the Inferno with like one region unlocked, that sort of thing. Banker's Note will be especially good for that. But it's not quite necessary. If you are high enough skill for PvM, you can do most of the things in leagues without Banker's Note, but there is a tremendous quality of life aspect to Banker's Note. It'll also depend on if we have things like lifesteal or prayer regen in some other capacity with the combat masteries. We just don't know, and that might be a very huge influential factor for whether you go with Banker's Note or Last Recall. For Last Recall, it's the same as before, except you get full stat replenishment, and that is very huge for when you're grinding, as you saw in the video when they pull out Zulrah and you're constantly like, you're killing Zulrah, teleporting back, killing Zulrah, repeat. Effectively, you can make it so that with the gear and relics that you'll have, you will effectively use no supplies at Zulrah and then keep recalling back to replenish everything. You might not even need anti-venom at that point. You will just continuously be able to kill Zulrah and grind out hundreds of kills without needing any food or prayer potions or anything like that, something that the Banker's Note would provide you with instead. It's a very difficult choice. I wonder what you guys are going to pick based on what we have here. I feel like for me, it'll depend completely on the combat masteries, and we'll have to see if that buffs Banker's Note or if it doesn't affect it at all, or if it makes it lesser than what it is. Without the other information, it's really hard for me to make a choice. Personally, I'm leaning really hard on Last Recall, but I really would like the advantage of Banker's Note in order to do things like Coliseum at a much easier time with lower gear and stats and stuff like that. But yeah, what are you guys going to pick? Let me know. We'll keep going over the different leagues drops. This is day 7. currently. So we have 7 more to go. Is that right? No, we have 8 more days left to go. I'll probably be dropping a Theater of Blood video a little bit later, either today or tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, see you later.